Lost in conversation. Lost in conversation. Lost in conversation. Lost in conversation. Lost in.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Lost in Conversation. Thank you. Myself and Dave are here. All right, let's get this party started. This is a Super Bowl episode, 1989. The Cincinnati Bengals against the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes.
It is Super Bowl 23. I have my throwback Esiason jersey on right now.
Nice.
This is my favorite team of all time. This will be a little tough for me to live through this again, but
It was an epic Super Bowl.
they have
though.
nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
I mean, what a firepower of an offense
Yeah.
this team has. On
Pro
offense.
Bowlers. I mean, some of the really good weapons on offense they had.
Oh, yeah. Boomer Esiason, my favorite quarterback.
Icky Woods.
Icky Woods. Oh, my gosh. Love some Icky Woods. James Brooks just comes to mind.
We don't like
Yeah.
the 49ers.
Yeah, take that 49ers. I gotta say, after this game, I had a serious hatred towards Joe Montana and the 49ers. Just a funny story. The Sports Illustrated came in the mail back then. It had Joe Montana on the cover. I actually wrote on it.
Oh my gosh.
On his
Really?
face, and then I remember my dad getting really mad at me about that. It's funny.
Hey, I've been there, man. They beat my team 2 different times.
All right, Dave, I'm putting you on the spot
Oh,
in
okay.
front of the world here. Dave, you are about to enter the Super Bowl trivia.
What?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
This is happening.
Oh, man.
Dave did not know about this.
I
ladies
did
and
not.
gentlemen. Kept this top secret.
Yikes. About to be a bumpy one.
He is sweating, and we are ready to do this.
All right, okay.
All right.
We're going back
We'll
now.
add up your total score at the end of this, sir.
Oh, how do I win?
You have to get at least above 50%. How about that?
Okay, and what do I win?
You win
A new car!
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you win the
Nice.
respect
Really?
of the universe listening
Yeah?
right now
Yes.
on iTunes. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
RSPCT.
Sir,
Find
are
out
you
what
ready?
it means to me.
Yeah. Which team has played in 4 Super Bowls but has never led at any point during the game?
Wow. Wow. I'm going to go with, well, let's see. There's a couple teams that come to mind. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings.
Never led at any point during the game.
Minnesota Vikings. Final answer.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. You are correct, sir.
Yes.
Good job.
Woo.
So, question number 2.
All right.
What is the name of the trophy for the winner of the Super Bowl?
Oh, come on. Really? The Dundee? Oh, I mean, this Vince Lombardi trophy.
Okay, yeah. That was too easy.
Yeah.
If the Super Bowl is the second most watched sporting event, what is the most watched sporting event every year?
Every year. Oh, okay. Well, Olympics is not every year, so it's not that. Gosh, man.
I'm having flashbacks of Office trivia for some reason.
Wow. The most watched sporting event every year has to be the World Series.
It is the Soccer Championship League final.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Soccer is the most popular sport in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, should
What-
have got that one.
This is way too easy. What company pays the MVP of the Super Bowl every year to sponsor their business?
What?
What company pays the MVP of the Super Bowl every year to sponsor their business?
Oh, that's Disney World.
Disneyland,
Going
I'll give it to you.
No, I'm going to Disney World, man.
Well, it has, yeah, okay. Oh, it's
Disney World,
close enough,
Disneyland.
all right,
Yeah, it's Disney.
All right, which team was the first team to win 5 Super Bowls? No checking your phone.
No, I was going to boo.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the 49ers, I believe.
The first team to win 5 Super Bowls.
Oh, wait. No, the Cowboys.
Is that your final answer?
No, the Steelers is my final answer.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay. What current NFL team has never played in a Super Bowl? There is 4 of them.
Name one or
Can you name all 4?
I can. The Jacksonville Jaguars,
That's correct.
the Houston Texans,
That's correct.
the Detroit Lions,
That's correct.
and let's see, Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my! No, wait, that's something else. Jaguars, Lions. Who else did I say?
You said the Detroit Lions, the Texans, and the Jaguars.
Yes, and
There's
the
one more.
other team is another team that's been
I'm
around
going to kick your butt for not.
for a while. Oh, the Cleveland Browns.
That's correct.
Although they were really good before the Super Bowls ever started,
Oh.
with Jim Brown and
All right, this is true or
Autogram.
false. Ready? No network footage exists of Super Bowl I.
false.
The answer is true.
Really?
There's no video footage of the first Super Bowl,
Are you kidding?
and supposedly it was taped over for a soap opera.
Oh man, what soap opera? Young and Restless?
As the world turns, maybe? I don't know.
Oh,
All right, question, ready?
damn it!
Where was the first Super Bowl held?
The first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, this was
1967.
1967. I'm gonna say Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City.
Final answer?
Yes.
Correct answer is Los Angeles.
Ah. Okay.
All right,
I was
you're
wrong.
still above 50%.
All right. That's all that matters.
Okay. Who holds the record for the most Super Bowl MVPs? Oh, gosh.
Boo. Joe Montana.
That's correct. All right.
3, right?
Who? Yes.
Okay.
81, 84, and 89.
Mm.
Which is we're about to watch 89.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Ugh. Okay. Who won the first Super Bowl?
That would be the Green Bay Packers.
That's correct. Which team has won the most Super Bowls?
That would be the Steelers.
With how many?
6.
That's correct. Good job. Which city has hosted the most Super Bowls?
Wow.
Would you like a multiple choice?
Yes.
Okay. New Orleans, Miami, or Tampa?
Miami. Final answer. Wait, can I phone a friend? Hey, Meredith. Ah, worth a shot. I'm going to go with Miami.
That's correct. It has hosted 10. New
Wow.
Orleans is a close second with 9.
Wow. Wouldn't it be something if Miami actually played at home in the Super Bowl? Or if anybody? Yeah.
On Super Bowl weekend, there are fewer of what important events than any other time of year? I thought this was funny.
Oh, read that one again.
Okay. On Super Bowl weekend, there are fewer of what important events than any other time of the year? Would you like multiple choice?
Yes, I would.
Birthday parties, funerals, or weddings?
A lot what? A lot
On
less
Super Bowl weekend, there are fewer of what important event than any other time of year?
weddings.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing that on the Super Bowl?
No way.
Wow. Good
not
job, man. You passed,
happening.
man.
Yeah, how many?
You only missed 3
Really? Out of 10?
out of 11.
Okay.
Good job.
Respectable.
Good job, man. So we have some interesting Super Bowl fun facts here.
Yes.
I know Dave is wearing a Peyton Manning jersey.
I
So I know he's going to love talking about this first one.
Yes, I am. The first fun Super Bowl fact is Peyton Manning.
Who's
is-
that?
Peyton.
Manning who?
Peyton Manning is the only quarterback to start and win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. Pretty impressive.
That is.
If I do say so myself.
And he retired after that second one. That was a perfect way to go out.
Yeah, Omaha.
So who is this Gail Gilbert?
Gail Gilbert. Oh, yeah. I don't really remember him too well. I remember Frank Reich.
He has the record for most consecutive Super Bowl appearances. 5 straight with the Bills.
Yeah, is that the guy that talks real funny? Oh, no, that's Gilbert Gottfried. Oh, my bad.
Oh, wow.
No, that's not Gail Gilbert. Gail Gilbert, was he even the backup? I thought Frank Reich was the backup for the Bills.
Well, that's back then when you had like 2 backups.
Yeah, he might have been third string. Either way, he was sort of under the radar there. Right. One of my other favorite human beings, who Bill Belichick,
Love it.
has coached in 9 Super Bowls.
He might be the best coach of all time, though.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I hate to say it, but I think
right.
you're right.
So
That's the most in the NFL history.
Mr. Bob Greasy completed only 6 passes in the Dolphins win in Super Bowl
8.
numbers. The Raiders QB, Rich Gannon, set the Super Bowl record. Not a record you want, by the way,
No.
with 5 interceptions. I watched that game.
Yeah, that was really tough to watch,
That was tough because
even for a Broncos fan.
I listened to a podcast with Romanowski, and he said that's when they changed it from the 2-week break to the 1-week break.
Oh, yeah.
And he felt if they had the 2 weeks, they would have won against the Buccaneers. That was a good team. You had you had Hall of Famers in their later years. You had Jerry Rice on that team, Tim Brown.
Tim Brown. Yeah,
Romanowski.
Gannon had such a great year too. Just totally fell
He was
apart.
great.
Fell apart in that game.
He reminded me of an early Steve Young, the way he was running and throwing.
Yeah, he was multi-talented there. Oh, I'll take the next one.
Oh,
yeah,
go for it.
The Broncos have won 3 Super Bowls, but have the record for losses with 5. Huh. That's more losses than 22 teams have appearances in the big game. So, hey, at least my guys lost more than other teams ever even thought about winning. So
NFL uses 72 game balls during the Super Bowl. That's a lot of balls.
Yeah, it is.
Would you agree?
That is a lot of balls.
I guess they use those balls to...
Are they deflated balls? Oh, wait, were the Patriots playing in these games?
It's got to be that many so they can give them away. It's the official Super Bowl,
Oh, yeah,
ball.
That's true. If somebody breaks their Super Bowl record, they get to keep that ball. So, hey, it's a lot of stuff going on there. Okay. The NFL did not turn to pop acts for the halftime show until 1991. Before then, it was largely comprised of marching bands.
Which is going to be in the Super Bowl we're going to watch. The halftime show is a marching band.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. The New Kids on the Block performed in 1991. Oh, wow.
I know Meredith was probably a huge New Kids on the Block fan, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
What's your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
I like the Bud Bowl commercials.
I remember the Right One Baby.
Yes. That
was with Ray Charles.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, every year there's good commercials. Usually the beer commercials are good.
One of my favorites is the 2013 Super Bowl. The Dodge Ram truck with the broadcaster Paul Harvey, the American Farmer.
Oh, right. Cool, yeah, right.
There's a lot of awesome beer commercials.
Yeah, always is. And then the Doritos commercials are good. It's the same people every year.
Okay, this Super Bowl that we're about to watch, 1980 Super Bowl, has the Budweiser and Bud Light bottles play football.
Yeah.
The Bud Bowl.
Yeah. Bob Costas doing the play-by-play.
Yeah, he does. That's awesome.
That.
Oh, gosh.
Who were you rooting for in those? I always was voting for Bud myself.
I think I was too.
I don't know why, because I drink Bud Light, not Bud. That's weird.
Oh, okay. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Next one.
Oh, yeah. I'll take the next one. Thank you very much, Pops. Stress.
Better, man.
Stress relief for all you Office fanatics out there. And the Stress Relief Office episode originally aired immediately after following the broadcast of Super Bowl
in 2009. We're not good with the Roman numerals, right?
Arizona versus Pittsburgh. Yeah,
I remember that's when Arizona had.
I can't think of his name now. He's
Kurt Warner.
Kurt
Warner.
The highlight of that Super Bowl was when the Office episode aired.
That is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
So, the second most sporting event in the world was 100 million people worldwide watched the Super Bowl. Okay. 2010 was the most watched Super Bowl unseeded MASH series final as the most watched show in television history with over 106.5 million watchers.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
That's unbelievable. MASH. Yeah, that was a good show.
So, we're going to give a quick breakdown of the teams leading into 1989. You want to go?
What's going to be less painful for you?
Yeah, I know, right? Okay.
It's all going to be painful.
I'm so glad. This has to be one of the better Super Bowls.
It is.
All time.
I mean,
you can't get any better.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the stars.
If you're
so close,
and you don't have a whole lot of vested interest in this, although I was definitely rooting for the Bengals. You're just enjoying the competition.
I'll go
here.
first. Okay,
go ahead.
So this was quite the year for the Bengals because the year prior, 87 season, which was the strike shortened season.
Yep.
Did they have a Super Bowl that year?
They did.
That had been really weird, though.
That was the Broncos.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Bengals had a miserable season. They went 4-11. Mm-hmm. All right. Boomer, Coach Sam Weiss, at that time, were not getting along. for whatever reason, they put their differences aside, came around, had an awesome season. They went from 4-11 season to, I'm not seeing it on here, but I believe they only lost probably about 3 games.
Sounds about right.
So Boomer ended up the season of his career. He threw for 3,572 yards, 28 touchdowns with only 14 interceptions. He actually rushed for 248 yards, too.
Huh, wow.
He had a passer rating of 97.4. Woo.
Not too shabby.
Earned him NFL Most Valuable Player that year. This team had 6 Pro Bowlers on it. Wide receiver Eddie Brown was their top receiver on the team.
Yeah.
They had wide receiver Tim McGee. I definitely remember him.
Yeah, another
And
stud.
Also Pro Bowler Rodney Holman.
Yes, a lot of weapons there.
A lot of good stats. They also had a breakout rookie by the name of Ickey Woods.
Yeah.
Yes, Ickey Woods had over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns. This is a fullback, by the way.
Yeah.
A big fullback. While also catching 21 passes for almost 200 yards. And at this time, I will be doing the Ickey Shuffle because I have not forgotten the ways of the Ickey Shuffle.
And well, this is a moment that we will relish forever, right here, everyone. He's doing a little stretching.
Oh yeah, gotta get rid of this.
Got to get back in 89 form here, right?
Is there a football?
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, this is happening, folks. The Ickey Shuffle. All right, blue 42 set hut. Oh, he catches it in the end zone for the touchdown. And here's the Ickey Shuffle. Oh, off to the right, off to the left, and a little spin. Little finger in the air, like you just don't care. And there it is. There you have it.
I still remember.
Wow.
I remember I had
not bad,
my
man.
parents gave me a newspaper clipping on how to do the Super Bowl Shuffle, and they gave directions.
That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
If I do say so.
All right. So, also they had James Brooks. I remember him a lot more than the Eddie Brown for some reason. I remember James Brooks was
Oh, yeah.
He was rushing and receiving. So
he
they
was a dual
also
threat,
had Pro Bowl offensive lineman in Max Montana, right guard, and left tackle, which,
Anthony
Hall of
Munoz.
Famer here, Anthony Munoz, was named NFL Offensive Lineman of the Year for the 3rd time in his career. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the guy you want protecting your blind side.
Yeah, definitely.
Cincinnati's offense led the league in scoring. 448 points, rushing yards, over 2,000. Okay, the defense was 17th in the league. Now, I remember watching this, not by looking at the notes, but
Yeah.
the way their defense, 17th, not as good as their offense, but the way they were doing great is they would rush 3 guys,
Yeah.
only 3, and still put pressure on the quarterback.
Tim Crumry, man.
And then they had relieved extra guys, for the linebacker and backfield. But they had Tim Crumry, the nose tackle, which sadly, maybe if he would have lasted this game, it could have been different.
It could have been. Yeah.
But they lose him early on, and
that
horrific.
was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was.
It's like a Joe Theismann-esque moment there.
It was. So you had Tim Crumry, who's a Pro Bowler, Tim Crumry, along with lineman Jim Sco. Linebackers were led by a 13-year veteran, Reggie Williams, one of 6 players remaining from their 1981 Super Bowl.
Oh, right.
And also Bengals announcer
Who was that? The Bengals announcer? Oh,
Chris Collinsworth. I remember he was actually on the roster.
Chris Collinsworth. He was on the 81 team as well.
So they also had Pro Bowl defensive back Eric Thomas and David Fulcher. I remember Fulcher a lot. He was rocking it in the defense.
He was. They had some good players on defense. Just overall, they weren't like a
17th
middle of the pack. Against a 49ers offense with their weapons, that's going to be tough.
It's like with that high power, you want that offense on the field as much as you can, man.
Yeah, I mean, last year the Falcons in the Super Bowl, they weren't known for their defense, but
what's really interesting?
Play well at the right time.
With that high powered offense, the only touchdown they scored during that game was a kickoff return. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hear your team.
What? It's not my team. It's definitely not my team.
So Dave's going to break down the 49ers season.
I've got some nice little information here that all you 49ers fans might want to know about. Kind of put you back in your place a little bit. Anyway, so for the 49ers, Super Bowl 19 against the Miami Dolphins. That was against my Miami Dolphins. That's the team I grew up watching until a friend moved into the neighborhood, and he just happened to like the Dolphins too. So, of course, we both can't beat Dan Marino playing in backyard football. So I switched teams, started watching the Broncos. That was my team.
Okay, that was your new favorite team?
Yeah. So, they pretty much mopped the floor with the Dolphins. I went to my room and cried. I was 8 years old, lost a bet.
I understand.
Lost a bet with my mom on top of it. Add insult to injury. Oh, my goodness.
I've been down that road before, man.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling.
When my team lost this game,
It's okay, man. Let it out.
I had to go to school the next day. I was 8 years old. All this trash talking before the Super Bowl. And then this is when you still have the 2 weeks prior to the game,
Yeah.
And kids would
trash
ask me,
talking.
"Hey, Clay, who won?" I would tell them like the Budweiser, the Bud Bowl game. Like,
Oh, good answer. Good answer.
Yeah.
Hey, got to defer. So, the 49ers, again, they're pretty much known as kind of the team of the 80s.
yeah,
And for good reason in a lot of ways for their Super Bowl wins. But wasn't always all peaches and cream for these guys.
yeah, really.
They did make the playoffs in the seasons between the Super Bowl 19 and Super Bowl 23 when they faced the Bengals, but each time knocked out in the first round because of the poor performances by Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, Roger Craig.
I can't believe
No
nobody
touchdowns.
knows that, right?
None of those guys produced a single touchdown in any of those games.
This is the playoff.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that whole greatest of all time argument for Joe Montana just took a hit right there, I think.
I mean, that never happened to Tom Brady, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, Tom Brady did lose 3 out of 4 AFC championships to Peyton Manning. So just saying. So hey, I'm trying to make a little more interesting argument for greatest of all time here. Anyway.
They actually benched.
Yeah. In the game against the Vikings.
Joe Montana was benched.
Yes, folks. Benched by Bill Walsh, who knows his stuff. So if he knew that Joe needed to take a seat, then
The creator
he's
of
probably
the West Coast
right.
offense.
Yes. So many coaches came from his tutelage. Andy Reid, Steve Mariucci, Mike Holmgren. I mean, these guys are legendary in their own right, and then all because of Bill Walsh. So
That's crazy.
he knows a thing or two.
That's crazy they underperformed like that.
I know. Yeah. So, 49ers, 88 season. They won the NFC West, 10-6 record. Didn't start off so well. 6-5 start. Kind of pulled it together at the end of this year.
Oh, man.
But it wasn't all Montana. It was also Steve Young in there.
Oh,
Steve
was it?
Young actually.
Is that when Montana got hurt and was out for a while?
Well, no, this was they're in a quarterback controversy.
Really?
Team had a quarterback controversy with Montana and Young, and
Wow.
they both started during the season.
Oh my God.
And it ended up being Montana towards the end of the season leading the charge. But
Steve
hey,
Young's no joke, man.
hey, Montana stats a little pedestrian here, guys.
Really?
Only 2,981 yards, 18 touchdowns. I mean, you can't really compare the stats of back then to now. It's a lot more of a passing league, and they had much more balanced offense, but still.
How many yards passing did you have?
2,981. It's less than Boomer. A lot less.
Yeah, Boomer for over 3,000.
A lot less touchdowns, too. He only had 18. So, just saying, it wasn't anything to write home about.
Boomer had 28.
Thing that kind of helped him, though, Jerry Rice catching 20 yards a catch for 1,300 yards. You got a guy like him catching a screen pass and taking it to the house.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to help your stats a little bit, Joe.
By the way, I have Jerry Rice's and Steve Young's rookie card.
Oh, do you? Nice.
1986.
Yeah, Steve Young, man. He doesn't get enough love, man. I'd say. I always like Steve Young. So, and he also had Roger Craig with a great year, 76 receptions. Actually had more receptions than Jerry Rice.
Okay.
2,000 total yards, rushing, receiving. It's
Definitely a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah.
Running back for Niners.
Yeah. Tom Rathman also.
I gotta say, I was a huge Tom Rathman fan.
Big
Even though I hated the 49ers. Tom Rathman was awesome, man. Old school fullback.
He was a
Number
bruising
44.
fullback. Again, he's another guy who could catch out of the backfield and rush. And with him and Roger Craig back there, and then you add Jerry Rice. How are you going to stop that?
Yeah, you could give it to Tom Rathman for some short yardage, or
I think you could throw Bubby.
that was back when
Bubby Brister in there and probably
that was back
have
when
a
those
chance to get to the
fullbacks
Super Bowl.
had the huge neck brace thing.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just looked like super intimidating.
Oh yeah, he was definitely. And then don't forget John Taylor, who is probably the biggest nightmare
Rice
for
Taylor.
you.
I'll never forget Sam Weiss's his yelling at the players. He's going to Taylor. He's going to Rice. Oh God.
Yeah. Well, John Taylor, was the ultimate person in your demise. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. And he was also a good punt returner, 556 yards, leading the NFL. So they've got offense, defense, special teams. These guys definitely were a solid team all around. You got Ronnie Lott, Tim McKyer. These guys, 18 interceptions combined. Charles Haley, linebacker Charles Haley, another Hall of Famer.
Defensive lineman Charles
11 and a half sacks. This team to be reckoned with. So, this could be an epic battle right here, right?
Let's see what happens. Maybe by wearing their jerseys, maybe the outcome would be different.
Yeah. You know, 2 anti-49er jerseys is the way I look at it.
We're going to watch the game. Let's do this.
All right.
Set. Hut.
Good luck, Bengals.
All right, we just watched the first half of the game. Man, the crowd was really into it. It was very loud.
Very. What a defensive struggle, right?
Yeah, David was just talking about how the defenses seemed better back then.
They did. Just generally speaking, you know, the Bengals were 17th in defense that year, and maybe they were just stepping up for the Super Bowl, but they were playing really solid.
They did great.
Yeah.
Even once Tim Crumry went down, they had a rookie that went in there, and
David Grant.
David Grant, the rookie. They stepped up. They were doing great. It seemed like defenses. I mean, back then the scores were less.
Yeah.
There was less rules that favored the offense.
And more of a run-first mentality, too, back then. You had fullbacks were more relevant.
Fullbacks.
I mean, look at Rathman and Ickey Woods. I mean, 2 of the best fullbacks out there.
Big dudes running down the field.
You don't really see that nowadays too much.
So you weren't impressed with Montana. I wasn't at this point.
You know, no bias here. He just seemed a little out of sorts. He had a few good plays to Rice.
I mean, Rice had a freaking awesome one-handed catch. Mm-hmm. Roger Craig seemed like he was doing the hard work on offense.
He was. He had to fumble, but other than that, he was doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I mean, Boomer, it seemed like he was throwing into heavy coverage.
Yeah, he was forcing a lot.
He was picking himself off the ground a lot. I don't know if you noticed that.
I'd say it's a pretty even match so far. I mean, both teams, their defenses are really stepping up, getting pressure on the quarterbacks.
They were putting Montana down too, though.
Montana wasn't really trying to force throws. He just looked sluggish out there. And Boomer seemed like he had a lot of energy and was playing with a lot of heart, but just throwing into quadruple coverage.
And then at one time, he finally got that guy open, but Dave was like, man, but nothing's easy. It's like nothing seemed easy, like at all. Like even when he got him, it was like he had a breakaway from like a defensive lineman or something, and then just throw on the run. The guy who caught it, his defensive guy was like right on him.
I mean, the stars on defense really stepping up. David Fulcher, Goliath.
Man, David Fulcher. Okay, the line of the first half is his name might be David, but he plays like Goliath.
Yes, and the guy is huge. I mean, he's a 228-pound safety. They said at one point he weighed more than their defensive end. I mean, this is a big guy. And then Ronnie Lott, of course, all pro on the other side, just hitting machine. And there was a key moment in this game where I think we both felt like there was a little turning point for Ickey Woods.
Yeah, Ickey Woods at the beginning, he was having some awesome runs, like down the field.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, man, Ronnie Lott, he popped him hard.
Yeah, and didn't look like a good situation for Ickey. It could have been, a concussion type situation. I mean,
he hit him hard, dude. It was just like the crowd was like, oh.
Yeah.
And it almost felt like maybe he wasn't the same after that hit because he is not looking the same.
Yeah, he is not. And then that's hurting the Bengals offense because then Boomer's a little more one-dimensional with, just trying to force the passes in because the running game's lacking.
Also, my man Fulcher had a awesome hit, single tackle on Roger Craig.
Yeah.
Fulcher was all over the place.
Big play here was Craig had a broke through with a good run, but then got the fumble. Bengals actually ended up taking over and ended up going down and scoring on a field goal to tie it up.
Yes, with a kicker with a size 5 shoe.
Yeah.
The Bengals got a lot of breaks. They had 49ers actually missed a field goal. It was 4th down, and they were probably a couple yards from the actual end zone. Yeah. And missed. And that was the shortest missed kick. I don't know if it's Super Bowl history or history
Super Bowl history, yeah.
So they got
that was a bad snap,
It was a bad snap.
It was a really ugly play, and they thought about going for it there too.
Yeah, I wonder if they would have went for it, or they're just kind of like they probably went up there and stalled.
I think with Rathman in there, they could have given him and had a good shot at it. Hindsight's 20/20, right?
Yeah. Also, I have to say, the best play action ever, Boomer Esiason.
Yes.
Greatest play action. Man.
I'm gonna agree with you there. I've seen some good ones over the years, but he is by far.
Oh yeah.
The best.
I remember in high school, the coaches telling the quarterback, you need to watch some Boomer Esiason footage, see his play action fakes. Man.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you're watching on TV, you see some of these guys, and it's a good play action, but it literally looks like the ball is in the running back's hands, and you have to do a double take.
You know what I love? I love when it fools the cameraman.
Oh, yeah.
When it goes on the running back, all of a sudden it goes right back to him. Like, oh, that was sweet.
Yeah, he buries that ball in the dude's stomach and pulls it out. And you don't know he has it. It's unbelievable.
And we're talking about Fulcher. I watched the game when the Bengals played the Raiders, and Fulcher actually hit Bo Jackson and injured his knee, and that was the last time Bo Jackson played football.
Yeah.
He still managed to play baseball, but that was the end of his football career. I watched as that happened.
David Fulcher's a bad man. Yeah,
he was rocking. This feels so refreshing to watch a Bengals team without like a criminal record, with all these thugs out there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like,
you don't
golly,
you don't
man.
see all that stuff going on as much. So interesting tidbit of information here. Dick Enberg starts off the telecast mentioning this is the 200th anniversary of the city of Cincinnati as an American city. So
That's
what a
cool.
better way to celebrate that than winning the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens. Going up against legendary Bill Walsh, 9-4 in the postseason, 2-0 in the Super Bowls. But Sam Weiss is no slouch, for the other side. He was actually with the 49ers 79-82 under Walsh. Just learned under him and seeing what he can do on his own. So yeah, it's been a very competitive, exciting game for a 3-3 game. It's been very exciting.
Also, our announcers are
Dick Enberg,
and then
the legendary Dick Enberg. Oh my! And then none other than
the Little House on the Prairie star,
Merlin Olsen. Yeah, who I believe Peyton Manning was sacked by when he was 3 years old or something.
There's some
do you
interview.
know the story about
some
that?
interview that Ron Burgundy. It's a Ron Burgundy interview where he brings up. I guess
Right.
Ron Burgundy and Merle Orson were buddies.
Yeah, BFFs. Yeah,
Really off topic there.
to start this game, it wasn't looking good for the Niners on their first
The
series.
first play of the game, the reverse Rice was a good choice. That really kind of started.
There's a little fisticuffs ensuing right there on the first series.
I would say the best pass for the Bengals was the very first play of the game. He threw a long pass that.
I think he hit Brown.
Yeah.
I think that was a play action, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah,
there you
and
go.
again, you setting up the
That's
run.
a perfect play. I mean, okay, it's first down. Okay, first play of the game. A lot of people think you're going to hand off. Great time for play action.
Yeah, I mean, you got Ickey Woods has had a great year. You got James Brooks, who's a threat as well. He's a speed guy. I mean,
I underestimated Collinsworth. Collinsworth was out there, and he was a factor. He was catching some passes. At number 80, that's like the classic, receiver number.
yeah, it's kind of funny to see him out there.
But he has that something about his smile, and seeing him out there looks funny. I don't know why.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess he's their third guy coming off the bench, and when they go in the obvious passing situations, he's going to be out there. So definitely, he's sort of a X factor for them. It's a defensive battle.
Roger Craig is really doing good. And also, I think the best individual player right now is for Fulcher is looking amazing. Ronnie Lott's looking good.
Yeah.
I'd say Fulcher he's doing a little more on that defense.
Yeah, and then the defensive line of the Bengals in general really stepping up in the absence of
big
Tim
time.
Crumrye. I mean,
Big time.
really good. Nice stat here I want to share with you guys about Boomer. Mr.
yes.
Boomer Esiason.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Did not know this. Fourth place all time in yards per attempt for his career, which is an amazing stat. I think it's 8.1 yards per attempt. I mean, that's significant there. I mean, he's not throwing dink and dunk passes. He's going down the field and being aggressive. And in this game, he's being a little too aggressive at times, throwing in triple coverage, 4 for 12, 48 yards in the first half.
He was trying to really thread the needle, as they say.
Yeah, but I mean, the 49ers have a pretty stout defense, so, I mean, it's not going to be that easy. Yeah, so let's see what happens in the second half.
Also, I have to say, the Bengals punter is playing amazing. Lee is his name.
Lee Johnson?
The first punt put him all the way to the 3-yard line, and every single time he's punting the ball, he is nailing that thing. He had one awesome punt, but it was actually a good return.
Yeah, John Taylor took a chance there. He kind of misjudged the catch on the return, let it go past him, then picked it up, then took off. Ended up getting great field position for the Niners. Again, defense are stalwarts today. I mean, they're just really stepping up.
I'm thinking the coverage is great. I'm in such a high-powered offense for the Bengals. I'm thinking that hit on Ickey Woods might have more than what we think.
Yeah, I mean, they're becoming one-dimensional. The 49ers know that. They're really playing tight coverage on the receivers and nothing's easy, like we said. 49ers seem a little bit more solid on offense right now, but again, Montana's a little sluggish out there.
It's like I'm waiting for Boomer to start to turn the on switch on. Like, he's not really getting started.
Yeah.
Towards the end, though, he did finally hit that receiver downfield.
I think we're just waiting for both teams. Somebody's going to break out and get this scoring going because these offenses are too good for this to continue like this.
I can't believe 3-3 tie halftime.
Yeah, should be an interesting second half. We look forward to it.
Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. We just watched the end of that game. That was not easy for me to watch. I'm very just upset, man. Oh, man, I don't know where to begin. Oh,
sorry, man. Sorry.
Oh, freaking Montana. Oh, gosh dang it.
I know, man. I know.
They want to hold him the whole game pretty much and put all this pressure on him and get a bunch of sacks on him, and they just eased off and put a lot of defensive backs. Frustrating.
Then Jerry Rice just took over. Should have been the MVP.
Yeah, it was like Rice, Craig.
Just back and forth.
Just
with no pressure.
Yeah.
On Montana.
How are you going to let Montana just chill back there and you think he's not going to be able to hook it up to Rice or Craig?
Once he got it in their hands, there was nothing they could do, especially when Rice got it. I mean,
and that defense was doing such a great job, too.
They really were.
Pressure on Montana.
Especially defensive line. I mean, they were getting to him without even blitzing.
I think that's what was holding him up for holding him these like third downs, was putting pressure on him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they kind of were easing up. It's almost like they needed to call a timeout there to like gather themselves, because it was just like pretty much no huddle, quick snaps, and just down the field.
Yeah.
Craig, Rice. Oh, what do you know? Another just going down the field.
I mean, they were pretty predictable at that point. They weren't even running the ball. It was just
pass.
And it was the same two guys. It's not like they were mixing it up, throwing to the tight ends. No, I don't think they barely threw to their tight ends.
There was only 2 drives. That one and another one where they scored right after the Bengals returned the kickoff to a touchdown.
Yeah.
That drive and then that very last drive were the only drives they were really pushing the ball down the field. Other than that, the Bengals were holding them pretty well.
Yeah, so let's look at how the second half started. I mean, we're started out 3-3. Bengals start the second half with the ball. Get a couple receptions on the first drive. Collinsworth
played big this game.
He did.
And speaking of, he was 6'5". I didn't realize that.
He was a key big target for them in the second half. And they even said
that Boomer in key plays would look for him. He was really good. I mean, to have Collinsworth coming off the bench, you have an awesome
Well, Tim
roster.
McGee got hurt, so he ended up coming in and getting more playing time. And, Sison just kept going to him. Had some big plays on this drive.
The offense was starting to come alive.
Well, part of the problem there on that first drive, I mean, they were moving the ball, but penalty after penalty, false starts,
and it looked
killing them on that.
It looked
drive.
like Collinsworth was possibly hurt there. He was on the ground for a good while.
Yeah.
That was a little
Still
scary.
managed to get a field goal on the drive, 43-yarder from Breach.
Me and Dave both noticed that guys on the football field are way bigger back then than now.
It's your linebackers and safeties especially, just massive guys.
Giant fullbacks also.
Again, you barely see a fullback nowadays.
Yeah.
Breach, so he hits the 43-yarder, which for him, that's kind of a deep shot for him because he's not known for being a long-range kicker, but they're up 6-3 at that point.
The line of this game is 5'6" Breach is growing taller by the minute or something like that.
That, again, he's
That's
growing by the minute. The smallest man on the field is growing taller by the minute.
Yeah.
Dick Enberg, and he's always got
the Bengals are shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties right now. Penalties here and there.
Well, I mean, so the Niners' first possession with the ball. Again, the Niners start moving the ball a little bit. They get past midfield, but then they stall. Yeah. They sack Montana.
Yeah, I'll say Bengals defense really doing good. Another sack on Montana. Again, putting pressure on
the very
him.
next play, they get a lot of pressure on him, and then they hit Craig right when you get ready to catch the ball. So good stop there.
And then something bad happened by this rookie.
Yeah.
A rookie linebacker by the name of Bill Romanowski.
Yeah.
Rookie. I didn't know that.
Yeah, this was a big play in the game.
It was probably
one of the top 2 or 3 biggest plays.
There was key plays, and one we'll go over later, which could have been an interception, but
this one was a poor throw by Boomer. I don't think he really saw him. And
it wasn't like straight up right to him. I mean, he had like jump up and
got
tip
his hand
it,
up, but
and then it came.
Again, if he had noticed him, he probably would have elevated the ball a little more, and that's his first interception too, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting pressure. I felt Boomer played well, but there was, So
the problem with this is it happened deep in the Bengals territory, so this sets the Niners up immediately. And even though they didn't really do much with the ball, they're right in field goal range, so they tie it up.
So they kicked the field goal to tie it up.
Right.
Great hold by the Bengals defense once again. Okay, so then Jennings kickoff return for a touchdown, 93 yards.
Yes,
when I was a kid watching this at 8 years of age, I thought for sure at this point, for some reason, I saw the Bengals just going crazy, cheering. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to win this. We are going to win this at that point.
Yeah, that was a big momentum swing right there. And any kind of punt return, kick return for touchdown in the Super Bowl, that's such a big momentum swing, when your special teams make a play like that.
Yeah.
But, the Niners were responding there. They get the ball back and feel like, they could be down for the count here if they don't make something happen on this drive.
They really came alive. This is like their first successful
and then,
drive.
The Niners really start getting the ball to Rice and Craig.
For those wondering, we were at a Social Distortion concert earlier, so our voices are a little rough. So
Social D, man. So Niners, they respond with some big plays to Rice and Craig. Craig, again, he's always getting yards after the catch, and Rice is just downright unstoppable once he gets his hands on the ball. I mean, he's just almost impossible to contain.
I would say it wasn't bad coverage. Like, whenever he was catching the ball, there was a guy right there in his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there was definitely some tight coverage, but again, Montana's accurate passer, he's hitting those spots, and then,
also, a huge play here that
probably
if this guy is still alive, I'm sure he's waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, just looking around.
Like you will be tomorrow? Or maybe the day after this game happened?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's in the end zone.
Lewis Billups.
Lewis Billups.
He's the defensive back for the Bengals.
Montana throws a pass, and it's in his hands. He has both hands on this ball. He's not even reaching for it. It's just in his chest. I don't know. He has the ball. I don't know how he doesn't catch this thing.
I mean, after the momentum they just got from the kickoff or the punt return, for this interception to happen right here, and what if he had returned it? I mean, either way, this is a huge, huge play.
Yeah, they even, later in the game went back to this replay, and Merle Olsen really went on and on about it.
And then, almost immediately after this, Montana hits Rice, and Rice makes a great dive over the pylon.
Very next
great play by Rice, and there you go. It's tied up at 13. Gosh. So, huge turning point in the game. Probably the play of the game.
The 49ers, I guess, they're not having that after that kick return. They actually kicked the ball out of bounds on that next kickoff.
Yeah. I want to say something here. We always hear the debates about the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and, a lot of people have kind of had Tom Brady surpass Joe Montana, but there's still a pretty big debate going on there, and I think that this one play is such a huge impact on Joe Montana's legacy.
That Super Bowl win.
I mean, Joe Montana has never threw an interception in any of his Super Bowls. Well, right here, that would have been an interception.
Yeah.
And potentially a loss in the Super Bowl because of that one play, and then that changes his legacy.
Yeah. It does. Yeah,
it really does.
It would have. That's crazy.
I think pretty much it's not even an argument at that point that Tom Brady is probably considered the greatest of all time at that point.
I would agree.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but
Lewis Billups, man.
It's definitely worth noting. So another key play here, right after this, John Taylor, he receives punt from the Bengals and tries to call for a fair catch, but sort of doesn't get his hand up in time.
Nonchalantly,
misjudges the ball, loses it, and luckily for the 49ers, they were able to recover.
Another play that could have went our way. Mm-hmm. Good call by the punt team.
Yeah.
To not just go ahead and clock the guy since he didn't fair catch it. So, Yeah, okay, so also on that drive, the 49ers get to a third down. The Bengals hold them, and they miss a field goal on that drive. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, 49-yarder. So, again, not a gimme by any means, but, Montana had hit Rice on a long bomb. Rice made a great catch. And
they were holding him. They were holding him. This third down, they held him. I mean, they're putting pressure on him. I think they gave up that pressure. That's what I think would happen.
So, the Bengals, here we are. We're still tied at 13 at this point.
Huge catch by this receiver's very first catch of the whole season. Ira Hillary.
Yeah.
First catch.
Little used backup. He's in there because McGee's out. And
I think Collinsworth's a little banged up.
Yeah. And so, they're starting to move the ball.
And then Boomer does a play action that fools the camera. Yes, that was cool. I love it when that happens.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play action.
Followed by a amazing catch by James Brooks.
Yeah, right on the sideline, kind of teeters on the sideline.
Yeah. First when I saw it, he's out. But then I realized he was actually pushed out. And he would have gotten the second foot in, I believe.
So after that, Breach again. Breach is becoming a huge part of this game.
Breach was getting taller by the minute.
I think that's where he made the comment, actually. He hits another field goal, 40-yarder, and they're up 16-13. So here we are. We're in the fourth quarter, 16-13. Bengals.
And we can just stop the podcast right here if there's any Bengals fans. Feel free. I would not blame you if you want to just save yourself the pain, the agony, and just, listen to something a little upbeat on your radio dial, on the FM radio.
Sure. And for those of you who like to be gluttons for punishment, then keep on listening.
Such pain, such personal anguish.
Such hell.
I don't like to talk.
So
this is that bullcrap
here we are.
About.
We're down.
Rice to Craig.
We're down just a couple minutes left in the game. 49ers starting deep in their own end.
Bengals have their timeouts. Are they thinking like, okay, we're trying to run the clock out on their drive? I mean, they have like well over 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. Are they thinking like, well, we're not going to call a timeout? Like, I thought they should have called timeout because the momentum was so against them at this point.
Yeah,
it was just kind of falling backwards, and it's just
they're getting absolutely no pressure on Montana.
Yeah.
Again, this is where he's really hitting Rice and Craig just at will, and
every play is like a pass play. I mean, Montana could have had like a picnic back there, man. It was just like, remember I was showing you?
Oh yeah,
dude, it was like you can leave
nobody
Montana
within 10 yards of them.
Montana just like to have like,
and you can't leave a guy, especially a guy like Montana, with that much time with the receiving core he has.
Yeah.
You're not giving yourself a chance there. So ultimately, this drive ends with the touchdown pass to John Taylor in the end zone, and Bengals actually still had a chance here.
Boomer wasn't doing bad. They're actually getting pressure on him with 3 guys, I noticed. I don't know what's up with that. It's like the offensive linemen were just kind of, I don't know. But he threw it out there pretty well. It looks like Collinsworth might have had one there that kind of would have changed things possibly.
Yeah, we're kind of hoping for something better out of the kickoff return, I guess. With they had James Brooks back there.
It was a good kick. It was like a kick that he couldn't down just in the end zone.
Good coverage. So they started at the 26. So
yeah, if they needed to throw the ball down deep, they chucked one early and went off to the sidelines, and then he kind of went for Collinsworth, and it was kind of close with him, I thought.
Yeah,
and then they loaded the left side up with receivers, and it was just straight up Hail Mary at that point. Yeah. Now, when he threw the best Hail Mary quarterback, to me, is Aaron Rodgers. The
last couple of years, the one he had was 70-yarder right in the end zone was amazing.
Now, if you had Aaron Rodgers on your team and you're throwing Hail Marys, then you might have a lot better.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to give you the best shot.
But when he threw it, it was almost like near the sidelines. Like, I'm thinking like maybe throw it in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
more.
The ball could get batted up.
And but it was like happen. It was kind of like near the sidelines. Like maybe he was thinking, well, if he catches it, then he can just get out of bounds. But I'm thinking just try your best to, if you have enough arm to go end zone.
Yeah, and Boomer's got a big arm, so it's not that's not the issue. It's just they were pretty predictable there on the last drive.
I went to school, and guys were like, Ickey Woods was sitting on the bench crying. I mean, I didn't see him crying, but he was kind of moping on the bench there.
At that point, it's like so close. I mean, you guys, you're winning the game with less than a minute to go, and the clutch 49ers, Montana, Taylor.
We were winning the game.
So close.
Man, they had to know, like, when they went down the field and kicked that field goal, right, and they're winning. I'm thinking to myself, okay, like, a field goal's not enough against this Montana and the 49ers that are going to get the ball back with over 2 minutes left. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, again, the way their defense had played for most of the game, I mean, they still had to like their chances.
Yeah,
but
they were doing good, yeah.
They just kind of went away from what they were succeeding at the whole game. They just weren't getting the pressure. And, this happens a lot in these last-minute drives. They start playing a soft defense, giving them the short stuff. But the problem is when you have Jerry Rice out there, he turns the short stuff into big plays. And then they're going to get down the field and eventually end up scoring,
And Dave loved the part where Montana was kind of fixing his hair and smiling on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
That was really fun to watch, huh?
Yeah, you seemed a little annoyed by that, as was I.
Something about Montana.
Yeah, he just...
I have no problem with Steve Young. I always consider myself a Steve Young fan, but...
I did too.
I like Steve Young, man.
Steve Young was sort of a multi-dimensional quarterback with the running.
I don't know what it is. about the Montana. Oh, gosh. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, we plan on doing this again with Dave's favorite Super Bowl of all time.
Yes, the Broncos-Packers, Super Bowl 32. Another really epic showdown.
Was it a barn burner towards the end?
It was a nail-biter as well.
Yeah.
Some epic plays there towards the end.
We have a funny story, so stay tuned about myself and Dave during that game.
Yeah. It wasn't so funny at the time, but
Yeah,
it all worked out.
Yes.
Yeah, it did.
Right.
Well,
just watching this game made me think about like when I was a kid.
you sort of like go back in time a little bit there when you start
Yeah.
watching these games and you feel like you're a kid again.
And does anybody out there remember all those Randy Cross commercials that came on the TV all the time?
Yeah, this was his last game apparently.
It's public insurance. It's no problem. Yeah, Randy Cross. That was his last game.
They were talking about how he wanted to become an announcer, and then sure enough, he's
Oh,
still an
nice.
announcer. He's pretty sure he's going to be an
That's
announcer.
an amazing game to retire on.
Yeah, I know, right? So he actually had some blunders in that game too. The botched field goal that they had in the first half was his bad snap. So
It was sad to see the Bengals have this amazing roster, just not able to do anything the following years. You're thinking like, okay, we just went to the Super Bowl, we'll be good the next year.
yeah,
Not so much, man. It's just
yeah.
I don't know
next
exactly
year,
what their
next year was the
season was.
Broncos back in there for the third time in 4 years.
yeah.
So 49ers were back again to defeat the Broncos, but yeah,
Sam
so
Weiss went to another team also.
Tampa Bay, I believe.
Yeah, and it was like only a couple years after this. I'm like, he just took you to the Super Bowl. What are you guys doing? I will say Boomer Esiason, he went to the New York Jets. We had some really good seasons. I saw something online where they're saying that he actually had his best years with the Jets. Then he went to the Arizona Cardinals. I liked when he was on there. He had a lot of good defensive guys. He had Eric Swan on the defensive line.
Right? Yeah, Eric Swan,
He had one of the best running back pass catchers of all time.
Larry Centers.
He's there. Boom.
That's it.
Larry
Damn.
Centers. He had Larry Centers on the team.
Yeah, Larry Centers.
And it was a defense that was built up because Buddy Ryan had just finished coaching there.
That's right.
So he really built that defense up. You had one of the best cornerbacks, Aeneas Williams.
Yes.
The best cornerbacks. Okay, so at one point, they brought in somebody else, another quarterback, and Boomer was really crazy. He was on ESPN and stuff, I remember it. He just walked out of the team, like left the locker room and just walked out. Like just straight up, just walking off the job. And I was like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then he went to the Bengals. I believe they brought him as a backup. The starting quarterback had gotten hurt. They put him in, and he was playing really good, really awesome. And he finished out the season with the Bengals for his last season. I thought he was doing so good, it'd be cool if he came back, but he just played that one last year with the Bengals. It's fitting he came back to us.
Yeah, that is fitting. You know, like some guys come back and they sign a one-day contract just so they can retire with the team. And he got to kind of go out on his own terms in a way. Yeah, overall, a really solid career.
He was playing with Corey Dillon when he was over there. I think Corey Dillon was a rookie at that point.
Oh, yeah. Corey Dillon had
Yeah.
some monster games.
It almost looked like Ickey Woods, because that was Ickey Woods' rookie year in the Super Bowl. It almost looked like vintage Woods and Sison there for a little bit. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm good. It's just disappointing because, you know, for me, as a 49ers hater, I was sort of disappointed that it didn't turn out differently.
Well, sure.
Getting to see my mom and dad, you know,
I lived your
cheering
pain.
on Joe Montana.
My brother and my father were both 49ers fans. So,
And MVP, Joe Montana, right? Joe Montana's MVP of this game.
your thoughts on that?
I
know you're not.
disagree. I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due, but Jerry Rice is definitely the MVP of this game. I mean, he single-handedly took over the game with his catching and runs and just his...
I mean, Roger Craig was a big part of
Roger
this,
Craig
too.
was a big part. And Joe Montana, don't get me wrong, he was really clutch in the second half, as he usually is in these situations. But
I mean, Boomer only threw one INT, but Montana could have very well got that INT there, man.
yeah, again, is he the MVP if he throws an interception? And they still end up winning. Who knows? Either way, yeah, I think Rice got robbed of an MVP award there. And
Let it be known,
yeah,
Dave does not agree with the MVP choice.
I do not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tune in next time.
Till next time. We'll see you.
This is Eric, Jedi Knight. Thanks for listening to the show. If you guys want to write us, email us at lostinconversation@yahoo.com. Hope to hear from you guys soon. The Force will be with you always.